So you've probably been told a million times to trust that your desire is already yours, that it's already here right now and you're living it, and that the manifestation process you're engaging in is working, so that you have to keep trusting, keep trusting. But how do you trust when it feels like there's no evidence to support this? Often this struggle to trust, actually all the time when we struggle to trust, it stems from an unrecognized alignment, a mistaken identity, aligning ourselves with the separate self, which is nothing but a bundle of thoughts, feelings, and stories that demands physical proof and perpetuates doubt. This separate self is always searching for signs, asking, how can I trust when I see nothing changing? How is that even possible? So let's explore what really happens when you attempt to trust from this limited perspective, not realizing that you're operating from the confines of this separate self. Some people call this ego self or states of lack. And I'll show you how to trust, so stay till the end of the video. So let's look at an example of an Amazon order. What most of us would call a small or insignificant desire, right? So just imagine you've placed an order on Amazon. Once you receive that confirmation email, what do you do? What do you do next? Most likely you just go about your day. You're not glued to the screen. You don't glue yourself to the tracking page, refreshing every few minutes in fear that your package might vanish if you don't keep an eye on it, right? Would you find yourself calling the Amazon agent every 20 minutes, every few hours, even late in the night, just to make sure your package is still on its way to you? No, you wouldn't. Would you ask them repeatedly if it's lost simply because you remembered that, you're not constantly affirming its arrival? Do you worry endlessly because you're not visualizing it correctly? You're not mindlessly repeating for it right before you sleep in all your waking hours? And now, just like your order that you can't see or touch just yet, or that you can't hold onto just yet, that's how your desire is. But would it really make sense to put your entire life on hold, ignoring your day-to-day responsibilities, skipping meals, or forgoing social activities just to keep checking on your Amazon order? Like, it sounds frankly quite excessive, right? It's definitely a little absurd when we think about it this way. You trust the Amazon process. You feel assured that your package will arrive as promised. This level of trust does not waver. It's rooted in a reliable system that constantly delivers, quite literally. So let's just draw another example, a parallel to manifesting a specific relationship. So particularly in romantic relationships, I guess, or even friendships, why do we handle these so differently? Instead of the calm trust we exhibit with the same online order, we often find ourselves in a cycle of worry, anxiousness, and hypervigilance. We affirm repeatedly, my partner loves and cherishes me. I am wealthy. I am wealthy. As if by sheer frequency of repetition, we could secure the stability of their affection. Again, notice the word I used. I use stability. We scour for signs of their commitment, interpreting every text and interaction as a clue to decode. I mean, this behavior isn't just exhausting, right? I've been there too. It's also fueled by the underlying fear propagated by the separate self The belief that we are fundamentally alone and disconnected. In both scenarios, in both of these examples, the triviality of an online order and the, this big desire for a loving relationship, it does feel big for some. The same dynamic of anxiety manifests. However, the stakes are perceived to be much higher with personal relationships amplifying our responses, because we're not as anxious with an Amazon order. Now, this worry is a clear symptom of the illusion of separation that the separate self upholds. When we operate from this place of perceived isolation, every moment without explicit confirmation of our desires feels like a threat to our well-being. It feels like a threat to our very existence. This continuous state of worry and the need for constant affirmation only deepens the misconception of separation. It reinforces a mindset that we must always do something more to bridge an imaginary gap between us. That we must bridge the gap between us and the fulfillment of our desires. Yet this relentless pursuit, often it backfires, right? It creates more stress, a sense of urgency, and that obviously keeps pushing our desires further away. It delays them. So recognizing this, we need to see the key to shift is from doing to being. So you want to trust that your life is flowing and not relying on manifestation to bring you the ease and assurance. So recognizing that you and your desires are not separate, but inherently one, united or connected. It transforms how you approach manifestation, because now you're shifting from the state of doing to being. It's not about forcing affirmation upon affirmation, visualization, different scenes into your subconscious mind. It's about resting in the certainty that just as surely as your Amazon package is on its way, so too are your desires, naturally aligning with your true self without the need for constant oversight or worry. So this shift from doing to being is fundamental in not only easing the anxiety associated with desire, but also in making the manifestation process more fluid and natural. Now everything happens with less struggle. So in contrast, when you are operating from the true self or God self, right? When you're being, now we're looking at being. It's like knowing that your Amazon order is on its way. It's recognizing that you are wholly and completely God, not partly human and partly God, 20% human, 80% God, 80% human, 20% God. It's about seeing that your physical body, actions, emotions, everything exists within this divine context. So to rest in this truth, simply engage in a guided pause. Are you aware? You'd say yes. Simply notice what that feels like. Are you aware of being aware? You'd say yes. Another way to put it is, are you aware of the sound of my voice? You'd say yes. Well, we might say, well, my head is noisy sometimes, and sometimes I'm daydreaming. Even then, you're aware of having had that experience, right? You are always aware. Just notice this. Notice where you're going to have this confirmation, this awareness where you go to say, yes, this is the God self or awareness, or some people call it I am or presence, this confirmation, this response is guaranteed. It's a clear acknowledgement that awareness is not just an idea. It's a palpable, consistent experience shared by all humanity. So this is not up for debate. It's a straightforward recognition of your core essence. I mean, can a coach who emphasizes relentless affirmations challenge this? Can anyone on this planet challenge this? You are always aware. What about those who insist on visualizations or healing your inner child? Nobody can challenge that you are not aware. You are always aware. Because a simple acknowledgement of being aware allows you to see something simple, deeper. This is the essence of God's being. I've discussed this at length in different videos. I'm not asking for blind belief. Rather, I encourage you to explore through these guided pauses. Inquire. This is not about trust as a forced effort. Trust emerges naturally when you recognize your true self. It's the only evidence you need to dissolve feelings of being a fraud or out of touch with reality. So let's continue with this guided pause exploration, right? For more confirmation. Now ask, do I ever stop being aware? You'd say no. Does this awareness have an ending? You'd say no. You are always aware. Can anything be missing from this awareness if it is unending? No. Therefore, everything you want is already present within this boundless awareness, or your God's being. So in this exploration, is this exploration something you truly need to believe in or trust forcefully? Not at all. Not at all. Trust emerges naturally as a result of recognizing who you are through your direct, first-hand, current experience. You see, trust is not about belief. It's about the undeniable fact of your existence as awareness. You are always aware. Awareness is infinite, so it lacks nothing. It is always full, complete, and whole. Recognizing that you're always being, always in a state, not even a state, but you're always awareness, is all it takes to truly understand your true nature as the God self. This is not about believing or convince yourself again. It's about knowing and living from this unshakable truth. This affirmative response, the sense of presence, is you resting in your God self, or I am. Not really embodying it, because God isn't something you embody. You're not doing it. It's who you inherently are. You are simply being. You're not in this for some distant payoff. This realization acknowledges that everything you desire is already an extension of yourself. It is already who you are. It's present here and now. You're already resting in I am God. You're already embodying it. There's no need for incessant repetition. You don't need to embody God. Your God self is closer than your breath. From this place of fulfillment, the constructs of the separate self begin to dissolve slowly. You see through its illusions. And then states of love and abundance, they naturally arise. Your thoughts, feelings, external circumstances start reflecting this inner truth, supporting and echoing the peace, fulfillment, completeness, abundance of your true nature. This is the essence of living and manifesting your desires, not from a place of lack, not from a place of separation, but from the fullness of being. So I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment below.